Hello everyone, this is something I'm trying a little bit different. Thought I'd put out a devlog of where I am with Carp Fish Sim, because I get a lot of questions, people asking when it's going to be released, why is it taking me so long, and I just thought I'd make a bit of a video and show you a little progress, and I can also explain a few things along the way. So excuse my rubbish accent. I am from East Riding of Yorkshire, or up north as some people like to say. So yeah, anyway, so what's been happening? Well, first of all, I managed to hurt my back, so I've been not working on the game for a while. This is the first time in a few weeks I've been able to actually sit in this chair. It's still hurting now, so I don't know how long I've actually got, but I don't even know what I did to it, but I've been struggling to walk and things, so I've been absolutely really bored. But anyway, so what have I been doing? Well, I've redesigned the user interface completely, and this is part of converting it over so that it can be played on consoles. As you can see, we've got a mouse cursor, which I am actually controlling with my mouse, but for consoles, I can use the controller to control it, which is a little bit of a cop-out. I've always not appreciated games that do this. However, it's really necessary with a game with such complex user interface as this, because trying to get all the buttons to work with pressing up, down, left, right on the controller was a real nightmare. So this actually makes things quite a lot more simple for me to do, which obviously makes the game quicker to come out, apparently. So what have I been doing? Basically, I've been making a new tackle box feature. One of the biggest requests, apart from when's the update, is a tackle box where you can pick rods, reels, line, rigs, bait, etc., and create your own setups and save them. So basically what we've got now is a tackle box and a setup, and this is not complete. In this menu will be spod rod, marker rod, bait boat, etc. here. Probably have to scroll because there's not enough room. But basically you've got a default carp rod, you can add a new one, and then you're presented with an option to give it a name. Then you've got, obviously, as you can see, rod, reel, line, rig, bait, rest. So when you click these, you can select. There's going to obviously be a better list of items. You can select things from this list. There'll be different reels, different line, obviously we've got a list of rigs like before. There will be bait like before, just picking anything here, and the rests, which will be rod rest or bite alarm, depending on what you want. You can have a large rod rest. Green one, we'll go with the alarm. So then what is supposed to happen is you select what you want and you lol rod and you hit save. You save that, and then you can load that setup, that's saved as a setup, so you can then load that setup and make new setups or delete setups. So the theory is you select all your rods here and then you save the setup, and then you are able to use the setup in game. However, I have not finished this because you would be surprised at just how complicated saving and loading all these kind of things is, and I have been in a world of pain trying to get it working. So that's where I'm at with that. That's why the entire game is taking ages, because that I had to rip out. But as a result of having to redo all this so that it works on console as well as PC and as well as mobile, is that I've had to redo all these user interfaces, and it's still not finished yet. Single player. So on the venue selection, we now have a difficulty star rating based on feedback of the testers at the moment, but obviously once this goes live, people maybe say that certain things are not accurate, like maybe something's more difficult to a lot of people. Obviously the more stars, the harder it is. So something like Haven is a 1-star because it's easy with little fish, and like we just saw with Giantica, it is 5 stars because it's really difficult. You get the idea. You can see there's a couple of work in progress venues that I'm trying to add. I'm trying to add a lot more venues, but obviously I need to get the main things finished before I really delve into that kind of thing. But this picture is not of East Park, and there's a Carp Hilly Castle which is not finished, and a central canal which is finished and is fishable. I'm going to show you today. So you can set whether or not you want it real time or pick your time, the usual thing from the last time if you're familiar with the mobile version of the game. We'll just hit fish here. These pictures that you see on the loading screen are not actually a real thing, they're just a placeholder. They look horrendous at the moment, but they will look a lot better than that. So equipment selection menu is here from like before. However, once I've done the tackle selection, tackle box menu and everything, I don't think I'm going to have this because it's irrelevant, because you should have already picked a setup that you wanted to use, like a carp setup or spinning or whatever it is you're deciding to fish for, so you wouldn't really need to do this. So I think this will have got rid of once I get the other menu actually finished. So anyway, new venue for it, pimped up a bit with the grass shaders and the ground, dynamic snow, rain, weather. Car park. The car park, interestingly, I made the car park so I know the car's only low resolution, but it's irrelevant really. But the point is, you have a car, so this is your car, and then anyone else fishing around the venue will have a car also, and they will be in the car park up to the limit of the car park. Obviously, not all car parks can hold all the cars. So basically, straight away I know that I'm the only person fishing around here today because that's the only car. So if it looks a bit laggy, it's just because I'm capturing on here and actually playing in the game engine rather than actually a build of the game, so it all slows it down. So yeah, the new character controller, by the way, you probably can maybe tell as he's running, he starts to get out of breath. So if you're like wandering off from your rods and your alarms go off, you can't just run all the way around the lake. You will get tired and you will start to get out of breath, and you'll have to rest a little bit. So, not a lot really to say about this venue. It's kind of, it loops on itself. I wanted to give it the feeling of a longer canal than what it actually is. So really, you can just run around in circles because it's just a loop. But anyway, so that's one of the new venues. Obviously I've got a few more up my sleeves that I'm planning to do, but I want to get the menu system and the save system working as I'd like, and then obviously I can move on to the next stage. Unfortunately it's taken a really long time, but that is game development. Unfortunately, people think I can just sort of get this thing out like overnight, and I know it's taken a long time. Unfortunately, I never know how long things are going to take, and I have to pull things out and I have to remake them. And when I first started this game, about six years ago, maybe 7 years ago, I was relatively new to game programming, and kind of learned as I went along. I'd made like one game before that, so basically now, having programmed a hell of a lot more, I look at my old things and I think, oh, that's terrible, so I rewrite them. To try and make the game better. So a lot of people have been asking me about the mobile version of the game. Obviously those guys want updates, but this is going to be for PC first, because the PC guys, who have paid a lot more money than the mobile guys for the game, they've paid £10–15 for an early access game that is horrendous at the moment online. On the version they've got to play that's online is horrendous, and the problem is, I earn my living, I earn my income from the mobile game alone, and so basically I try to work on this version, but then things happen and I have to look after the mobile version because that is my income. Because if obviously I don't get any income from that game, then I don't get any income at all, and then I'll have to go and work in McDonald's or something like that, and then do this when I get in from McDonald's, and that's not really a good thing that I want to end up doing. That said, I have to prioritise the PC version now because it is really taking the piss, as a lot of people tell me, and they're right. They've had the same rubbish game for ages, and the mobile updates keep on coming out occasionally. So those of you who are asking for the mobile update, unfortunately there is not a lot I can do about it at the moment. However, this game is being made with the mobile in mind too, with the idea that basically when this is finished and goes onto PC, it will then be converted onto the consoles, which is the Switch, the Xbox, being the Xbox, all the Xboxes, well not all the Xboxes, but the Xbox One series, the Xbox One S, the Xbox One X, and the Series 1, not the Series 1, oh, so confusing, the Series X and S, whatever they're called. I've got a Series X, and also the PS4 and the PS5. I have a PS5 as well, not dev kits though. I've got the PS4 dev kit and an Xbox One dev kit, and it'll also be on the Switch So they're basically converting the PC version over, which is theoretically an easier job than what you might think. I'm not actually starting from scratch, it's a conversion of the PC version, which is what you're looking at now, tweaked so it runs better. So on mobile you probably won't get all this grass and things like that as good, but generally speaking it's more or less going to be the same thing. And so basically when the console versions have been released, I will then come back to the mobile version and try and get this going on the mobile version. I say try because there is an issue with the game engine, which is, I use Unity game engine. There's an issue where the games crash if they go over 1 GB of memory usage, RAM usage on a mobile phone or an iPad. This is on Apple, and basically it never used to do that. So the game that you've got now, if you're running on Apple, is the old system. But that same game, if I try and build it and put it out there now, will not work on that same device that you're using. If you're using anything with a 1 GB RAM, so some of the older iPad Air 2, I think, and some of the older phones, 4S. So basically, what that means is, currently I can't put my game on the iPhone or iPad because it crashes inexplicably, because it never did before. And the thing is, what people don't understand is both Google and Apple insist we developers use the latest software, so they force us to upgrade, and if we don't upgrade they won't allow us to release updates. So I am forced to use the new software that Apple have provided that no longer works. And it's not just me, it's out there on the internet. There's a lot of developers struggling. A lot of developers have stopped releasing games on the iOS, which is the iPhone and the iPad, because of that. It's a nightmare. So I don't know what the future entails for this game on mobile yet. Android's fine. I can release it on Android, but then I'm going to get a whole load of people on iOS yelling at me saying, why ain't you released it on iOS? And when I say a whole load of people, I do get a lot of people yelling at me constantly. So, you know, it's a difficult situation that I'm hoping I'll be able to resolve later on down the line when I get to that point. But at the minute, I've got to focus on this PC version. And hopefully, things might have ironed themselves out by the time I get there. So that's really it. People keep asking those questions of when it's coming out, why I'm doing the mobile version, I've run off of everybody's money and all these crazy things, but no, I'm still here, still working. I work on, well, I haven't been, but I work on this full time. This is my day job. This is, you know, I even worked on Christmas Day. That's, people say to me, what are you doing that for? I work on Christmas Day because I was bored, and you know, this is what I do. If I wasn't doing this for a living, I would go and earn a living. I would come home and do this. So it's what I do. So I don't mind. Obviously, I choose to do it, and nobody's there at gunpoint forcing me to work on Christmas Day. So there you go. That's a little sort of look at me and this scenario that Carp Fish Sim is in, and the dog is trying to get into the office. So I'm gonna leave you. God, the video's 20 minutes of me waffling, but hopefully you'll understand a little bit more about the situation, rather than me trying to message all the same questions the same answers and blocking people who feel necessary to insult me, which you do get a lot of those as well. So yeah, I'll probably start putting out a few more of these videos if it sort of proves fairly popular, if people can stomach my rubbish accent and babble. But it'd be a lot easier for me to just convey what I'm trying to, the message I'm trying to get across to people, doing it this way. So I'm hoping that you guys found it interesting, and maybe do a few more in-depth things, and a little kind of look at some of the mechanics behind the game, the fish AI and things like that. Maybe that could be a topic for another day. So until then, take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.